So, how many first-timers do we have this morning? So good, show of hands. That's awesome. That's incredible. So, 1 Million Cups, welcome. First off, 1 Million Cups is an educational event that we put on every Wednesday right here at the Kauffman Foundation, and also several other cities around the country. Are we at 22? 24 cities around the country. So this is one of several events, but the structure goes like this. We have two entrepreneurs or two companies that are going to come and present. They have 6 minutes to present their business, their story, and bring the room up to speed on what they're doing. After that 6 minutes, there's 20 minutes of Q&A, and that's really where we find the value in the system that we're doing. So during that time, I would encourage you guys, raise your hand, have questions. We're going to be running mics around so that you won't have any problem being heard. That's what we're going to have set up for you here in just a few minutes. Some housekeeping notes. One, we want to thank the Kauffman Foundation for hosting us every week. They let us use this beautiful space. They also provide the coffee and the cups and everything that you have. But what they do ask in return is that we make sure that we take all of our trash in our cups and make sure they end up either in trash cans or on the trays in the back of the room. So that pretty much takes care of what we need to do to get started. First off this morning, we have ToastyTote getting ready to give you a presentation on what they are doing here in Kansas City. So give them a big round of applause.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? All right, I'm gonna my name's Christian Corley.
Hi there, I'm Connie Robertson.
And Chris Vaughn.
And this morning, I'm gonna try to channel a little Steve Jobs, because he always got to talk about really cool stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about some cool stuff this morning as well. Hopefully you get as much out of that as you would with Steve. So, everybody talks about the aha moment. We want to take you back a year ago and give you a little taste of what the aha moment was all about. So there I was sitting at my son Dakota's early morning football game, and it was a little chilly. And the person next to me, doesn't she look cold? And I kind of felt bad for her. And then there was another guy that came up next to me, and he had one of these. And then he started getting his chair out of the bag, and it got stuck, and he threw it down. True story. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, maybe, just maybe, there's a way of making something that carries the chair that very easily comes apart, but when you're done with it, you can put your legs in it and keep warm. Look how warm she is now. So as soon as I left that game, I thought, how can I do this? And I thought of my friend Connie, and Connie's an incredible clothing designer, and so I gave her a call, and she started making a prototype.
So Christian's first vision for the ToastyTote, in the beginning it only really had two features, two uses, and that was the chair carrier and the ToastyTote. But what Connie did was, with our incredible designer Connie, she started developing our prototypes. And then here in the last year, we've gone through 4 different prototypes. And as each prototype was introduced, we just started adding more and more features. So really what happens is, have you ever gone to a sporting event, one of those soccer games, you're out there early in the morning, it's just freezing cold, and you didn't bring a blanket, you have nothing to cover up with? Well, the first feature of ToastyTote is what we call the Toasty, and that's what Connie's demonstrating right now. Basically, you just put it over your legs, put it up over your bottom, keeps you nice and warm, nice and toasty. Number 2, so you're at that same game, and we know how Kansas City weather is. Storm comes in, starts raining a little bit, you're cold on the neck and shoulders, and you just wish you had something to kind of wrap up in. So it converts real quickly to what we call the Poncho. So that's the second feature. Then you have a ToastyTote in the trunk of your car. Have you ever thought about having a spontaneous picnic? Just pull off the side of the road, pop open the trunk, lay the picnic blanket out, you're ready to go. The fourth feature is the seat cushion, and that's how I have this demonstrated right here. So you walk into the game, we've all done it, you look at the bleacher, it's wet, it's cold, there's a big muddy footprint there, and you're going, I gotta sit on that. With the ToastyTote, Basically, you carry it into the game, set it down on the bleacher, sit on it, keeps you nice, warm, and dry. And then finally, if you guys thought getting the chair out of the bag was a problem, have you ever tried putting the chair back in the bag? So with the ToastyTote, when you're done, you just lay it down. It's 2 quick foldovers. You drop the chair in it, 2 Velcro straps, throw it over your shoulder, walk out to your car, throw it in your trunk, and you're ready to use it the next time you go to the game. So those are the 5 features of the ToastyTote.
So Connie made the 4th prototype. We know we were kind of onto something when we started field testing it, and that is a real picture. Kids can tear apart ToastyTote in about 37 seconds. There was hot dog juice and ketchup, and we're not really sure some of the stuff that's on there. But the good news is it's machine washable, and it's very tough, very high quality materials. We also put a contest up on our Facebook, and we had about 250 uses that our fans had suggested they would use it for. And our favorite one in this comment section on the card says, "I would keep 2 in my car for emergencies, a sudden picnic, and for sports and travel." So our competition. They're basically Coleman, L.L. Bean, lots and lots of blankets out there. None of them carry the folding chair. Some of them say 2-in-1, some of them say 3-in-1. Well, we're 5-in-1, so that's better. Okay? So right off the bat. But basically, nobody does everything that all the features and benefits that we have.
So
the market,
real quick,
yep.
We got about a minute left here.
Yep.
Soccer moms, football dads, sports fans, take it camping, hunting, fishing, roadside emergencies. Keep in your trunk. You never know when you're going to have to pull over the side of the road. Anywhere that it's cold. I know your wife's ever been to a restaurant, to a theater, and, honey, I'm cold. There you go. You got your ToastyTote.
So how are we going to go to market? Well, we just did. So we just went, finished, yay! All those Kickstarter fans out there and those that are not, it's an all or nothing. On Monday night, we exceeded the goal by almost $1,000. And so we were really pleased. Our 177 backers really took good care of us. So now, the next step, we just closed our first round of funding. Now we have partners, Dan Cooper and Ted Stan, here in town and also representing St. Louis. Our production sample from the factory arrives today. We're excited. Are you excited? So that's pretty cool. Can't wait to get that. Then right now we're opening channels right now. And I'd say the biggest thing is we're available for pre-order online right now. And my son Dakota and his friend Jack, I think they say it best. Maybe. Thank you very much.
All right, open for questions.
So I'll kick it off with a question over here on your right. The question that we have a lot of times when we have physical products, you made something. What was that journey like actually going through designing it and then prototyping it, and now how were you able to find the best partner to actually get it manufactured? So talk us through the actual building process of getting this made.
When Christian came to me a year ago, he said, "Can you make this?" And I'm like, "What's this?" And he handed me a sleeping bag. He says, "I need it to stay on me to keep me warm, but I want it to carry a chair." And I was like, "Okay." So I cut the sleeping bag apart, and then I handed it back to him and said, I can't do this. It's too big. It's too bulky. It's not going to fold up. It's just going to be a frumpy mess. So after that, it took me about 12 hours, I think it was, to actually complete the entire process of figuring out what size to make it so it fits as many people as possible. And having the drawstring at the top, when you can cinch it up, that's the most important thing right there to hold it on you. But then we wanted to keep converting, and so with all those changes, I kept going back to Christian and saying, "What do you think? What do you think?" And then he said, "That looks good. How about colors?" And then it was just one step after another of moving the Velcro from the left to the right and the right to the left. It kept tipping over this way, and the handle would be wrong, and the zipper was in backwards a couple times. So
What did it look like when you actually found a partner to do the manufacturing piece of it?
The manufacturing part was kind of a wild ride. I mean, you'd think that just with all the factories everywhere that you would it would be a pretty easy deal, but it really took us about 4 months. We were really fortunate to find a great manufacturing partner in Ohio. Is actually a friend of mine works for a company that they do a tremendous amount of product for them. So that manufacturing partner in Ohio has 7 factories all over the world. We know the ToastyTotes, for at least the first couple runs, will be made overseas at one of their factories. But the nice thing about that is they have redundancy, so if there's a problem in one country, then they can shift production over to another facility. But that was a lot tougher than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
He has
Question
one
here.
over here.
Great job. Love the idea. Tell us about how you're protecting what you have your hands on to make sure that you get the true success from this product and nobody else does.
What the-
Well, it's actually, it's patent pending right now. We have a provisional patent, and just kind of waiting for the regular patent to come on through.
There's really no way to protect. I mean, people will, knock stuff off pretty. The thing for us to do is get to market quick, make it as big as you can, as fast as you can. That's the best protection you can.
That, and we feel kind of secure in that our competition, there's really nothing like that out there. Coleman does have what they call a 2-in-1, 3-in-1, and it's basically just a blanket that folds up and fits into a little carrier with a strap, and that's it. So we took it the next step and made it multifunctional, really.
Another question in the middle here.
Great product. I've frozen my tail off at the Overland Park Soccer Center many times. So do you sell the product with the chair, or is it just the ToastyTote? And how did you go through the process of setting a retail price?
Great questions. No, that just comes ToastyTotes by itself. There's billions of chairs out there already. If anybody has any connections with some chair manufacturers, we'd like to chat right after. That'd be good. But because we can see this at, in Cabela's, Costco, sitting right next to those folding chairs. And again, anybody has a brother that works high up in those companies? Let's chat. Okay. So setting the price was pretty easy for us. You just take the manufacturer price and then you double it to be able to sell it online right now. Later on, when we get into wholesale, that's when everything gets squished down. And we've checked out, we've got some connections in QVC. And that's when we really have to get everything compressed. So right now it's go to market, get some big quantities, compress the price, be able to sell it. Right now the retail price is $49.95, but we're selling it pre-order right now for $29.
He has a question.
Great product. I'll definitely be buying some. We have a question. Congratulations on hitting your Kickstarter goal. That's really cool. We just launched an Indigo campaign. So my question to you is, how did you get your campaign out there? Did you do anything besides friends and family, or how did you launch that?
Well, that was, it was actually probably 2 years ago. A really good friend of mine, Glenn Fisher, had asked me to help him with the Kickstarter campaign. And Chris and I actually shot that video. And then we also helped another friend of ours shoot a video, and they went on Indiegogo. So we had some experience in that part of it, but we had no idea. It was a wild ride. I can tell you, Kickstarter, some days you feel lonely. I mean, you feel nobody loves you, everything's going bad, and then like 10 minutes later, bling, somebody throws $1,000 in there. I mean, it's kind of a wild ride. I can say that we did a lot of prep work on Facebook. We did a lot of prep work, friends and family, but you really never know until people pull out their credit card. The nice thing about Kickstarter is, if you don't know Kickstarter, that you make a pledge, and then if it goes 30 days later, 60 or 90, whenever their deadline is, if it goes, then their credit card gets charged. So it looks like that helps a little bit, that people, it's not real money until it gets charged. So I think there's a little exuberance in the beginning of that, so that was kind of helpful too. But keeping posting, answering questions, it's an amazing experience. We had so much feedback from our backers that made suggestions that we've already modified The factory sample coming in today has already had 2 modifications to it that we never even dreamed of until we put it on Kickstarter. So you got to have that interaction.
The other cool thing about Kickstarter that we found once we got into the process is a lot of our backers were people that know Kickstarter. Thank goodness for that. There are just a lot of people that get on Kickstarter every day and they just kind of troll through there and they find things that they want to help out and back. And a lot of our backers came through those channels.
Another question here on your left.
So when are you going to put this or going to get sports teams and logos on those? Maybe talk to Rumble, I don't know.
And your brother works for who? Okay, just check. No, actually,
I know
that
this
is
guy.
right now, or you, yes. Right now, that is, you want to take that?
Well, we get that question a lot, and I think a lot of you know that there's a huge expense to get involved with licensing, even in the the college levels, and then when you get into like the NFL and that type of thing, it's just huge. You have to be in business for almost 2 years. You have to show a huge profit for a couple of years before the NFL will even talk to you. I think what we might do is follow the lead of Sox 101. You guys are probably familiar with him. He had a very successful Kickstarter campaign here in Kansas City. And basically what they're doing is we're just going to produce colors that kind of match the local teams. So right now, we did a lot of research, and our first 3 colors are going to be the black and gold or the black and gray. Then we're going to have the blue and then the red and white. And our research showed us that those are the most popular sport team colors if you combine all the college, NFL, hockey, basketball, baseball, etc. So our first run from the factory is going to be in just those 3 colors, but as time goes on, as we get more sales, we have a lot of people asking us about that ugly purple color. But anyway,
Wrong.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I would say though that so many people go down that same road. The first thing they have to see it and say, oh, okay, I see how that fits in my life. With those 5 uses, we find that the majority of people have about 3 uses, but they're all different compared to each other. But as soon as they see that, they say, hey, how about my kid's soccer team? How about my kid's football team? How about my high school team? How about my college team? How about my pro team? All those, we're looking for channel partners right now. We're going to partner up. We've already made some connections in that, but that's actually one of the things we're looking for right now. The 3 main things that we're looking for, I'll just go ahead and say them now, but the 3 main things we're looking for: channel partners. We've got a couple advisory board positions, someone with a lot of mass retail experience, a person with mass distribution experience. We just want to cut our learning curve on those tremendously. And the last one, of course, is buy more ToastyTotes. Did that answer all your questions, sir? Perfect.
So I know it's after Thanksgiving, but there's a room full of people here. Somebody has to have a question about. Okay, good.
So what is your background and how did it lend itself to doing what you're doing now?
Absolutely nothing like this. A year ago, actually, Chris and I started another technology company called Perked, a social rewards app. So that's what we were doing a year ago when this came up. But after about 9 months of the developer not developing, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, we're the only ones probably had that experience, started any developers in the room. But anyway, we just needed a break from the ones and zeros. So this is what's really cool about, this country is built on making stuff. So it was, I can tell you, we love technology, but this has been a blast to actually be able to make something and feel it. And this is what Connie has been doing for many, many years.
I wish I was good at the tech stuff. I'm horrible. Instead, God gave me a gift of ADD and the ability to create and continue to create and change and repurpose and redesign things. I taught myself how to sew about 5-6 years ago, and it's just evolved from there for me.
She's a fabric expert, and can you tell me a little bit about your autism connection?
Yeah, I actually worked a few years in a center for children who have autism, and I'm currently working at Shawnee Mission Medical Center at IDC, the Infant Development Center with Leanne Britton, and I work there with children that happen to have autism or other special needs, and this has actually kind of come in handy for a lot of the families.
So I have a an idea, I guess. One of the things that I really like to do late at night is watch infomercials, and it's funny because they're like famously bad, but it makes them viral. So you have like the Snuggie, the Slanket, the Slap Chop, or the Chop, whatever. You have all sorts of these different things, ShamWow, that have some type of underlying sort of comedic narrative to it. And then now you've started with like Dollar Shave Club and some of these other consumer products moving into a viral kind of comedy thing. So I would love to hear about your plan to market, and I think that's something that you should consider is how can you almost poke fun at yourself? It seems like people really like that.
I think you're dead on. We've actually, the people who put the Kickstarter video together is Brockton Creative. Highly recommend them, great people down there. But we're also working with another company, Loki, and they've already proposed the viral video to us. And Dan, are we gonna do that? It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. You talk about poking fun. Shave Club was one of our inspirations on that. The Joe Boxer, little out there, if you saw that little holiday jingle bell thing. Anyway, so we are definitely looking at that right now, but we think that would help us with that big explosion. Great thought.
I think he has a question over here.
Oh, it's made of fleece and ripstop nylon on the outside. It also has a parachute clasp style. It's a breakaway so that it can open up.
Now I'm Vanna White.
And all of these that are up here are the ones that Connie has actually made
I
from
made all of
scratch.
them.
They're not
Yeah.
factory.
And they're all different.
12 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours. She's getting really
Yeah,
good
I
at
can do
this.
it in 5 hours now. I can make it in 5 hours, down from 12. I know.
So going through this over here on your left, going through this process, what has been the biggest roadblock or the biggest challenge that you've hit getting to where you are today?
I think it was the manufacturing. I mean, that was, again, quite surprising. The other thing is we want to make this in the U.S. I mean, if we could have a made in U.S. on it, that would just be the biggest blessing. So that was absolutely the biggest challenge. The rest of it has been a ride. But after you come off 9.5 months with the developer, then that manufacturing thing was pretty cool. And actually the manufacturer that the partner that we've got in there, they may come on as a board member too. So they're pretty excited about it, and they don't just do that, to be nice. So that's a pretty big honor too.
I have a guy back here.
Another question over here to your right, and then we'll get to the other side of the room.
I just wanted to ask, when or how did you guys make the decision to pursue this full time? And how did that balance with your lives and careers as it was?
Well, go ahead.
Well, it seems like it's full-time, but we all still have day jobs, so it's a lot of hours. We kind of got used to it. Like Christian said, a year ago, we started another project that was a tech project, and every night, 11 o'clock, midnight, we're having Google Chats, just trying to keep the information flow going. But it's a huge commitment. Basically, you kind of have your daily life, and every other second that you have in between, you're either working on designing a new card or taking new photographs or promoting it to family, friends, getting it out there. That's pretty much what it is. It's just a very time-consuming commitment.
I happen to have 3 children, 15 and a half, 13, and 10, and that's full-time, plus a husband.
That's full-time.
That's full-time. And I work outside the home, so I pretty much have these bags under my eyes for a reason. I stay up till about 1 or 2 every night sewing after everything else is done.
She was up last night sewing some new really incredible things that she's making for the kids with autism. But our 2 new partners, they're working at it full-time right now, and we've actually got a team of about 7 people right now. So as that comes on, we'll bring more and more people to help us with the journey.
Okay, question over here in the back.
So you'd mentioned the manufacturing. I was curious, could you share with us some of the challenges you face with getting it manufactured here?
In the U.S., it basically comes down to price. The lowest U.S. price that we were able to secure so far is $38.90. So that's, I mean, it just, you just can't compare to, the thing with ToastyTote that's good about it is it has a lot of features. And the struggle in manufacturing is you add a reversible zipper, you add each of the nylon straps, each of the Velcro straps, everything just keeps adding up. So, and there's a lot of labor to put that together. So hopefully as it goes along, we will probably have 2 or 3 different ToastyTotes, kind of a low, mid, and then high end. High end, we've already been asked about camouflage. That was the other thing that people in hunting want that. And you know, if anybody are really good friends with Duck Dynasty, I don't have a beard. Oh, we got some fans right there. So if you know the Duck Dynasty guy, all we want to do is put their, and they don't have camouflage, they have duckolage, so we want to get a little duckolage on them. Also, Thinsulate would be another high end for some of our friends in Canada have already asked, does this come in Thinsulate? So there's going to be more products to come.
Yeah, Polar Tech is something I'm looking for to put inside here too.
That's a great question. It was friends. It's putting out to your network. LinkedIn was pretty instrumental in getting a lot of the first contacts together, but it literally was getting on the phone. I took a day off and did nothing but calling and put out 100 calls in one day. Then from that, one of our manufacturers, or the local a factory rep, local, that has factories all over the country, started him on that journey while we went on the rest. But it ended up being one of my really good friends, or our neighbors, who moved to Ohio, and he went to work for a company who this company manufactures for them, so he hooked me up with them. That's how it ended up being. But it was a struggle, but it's highly worth it. I mean, I think that's what, you know, I think the brick walls in our lives are there to see how bad you want to get through it. So you just got to persevere.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you guys very much, and give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
And for those of you guys that came in late, the request for help from the community was, what was that again, guys? More network connections here? Partners, affiliates? Affiliate connections was your request? Channel partners.
Okay, hi everyone. So we've got a couple of quick announcements before we get on to our second presenter. First up, as you may have heard, we had some pretty exciting news out of Kansas City, in that Toby Rush is our big winner for the Get in the Ring competition. So Toby's here to tell us a little bit about that experience. Man, that is pretty.
Bring the swag up. Yeah, so very, very cool experience. I'm going to leave this on for just a second because it's rather big and hot and heavy. But you know, you do competitions. I've got plenty of crystal balls and little statues and different things, but how often do you get a boxing belt and boxing gloves as a prize for winning, which is just really, really cool. So 2 weeks ago, we had the Get in the Ring finals. I'll set these right here. Which was really a different experience, right? So I've done a number of different pitches and different competitions. This one was unique in a number of different ways. I think I call it the Olympics for startups, because anybody could apply. So they had almost 300 startups across the US apply. They narrowed that down to 40 and then down to 8. And at the end of the day, there was 1, right? So as an entrepreneur, as a competitor, like, I like to win. Right? I don't want you to go do a pitch and say, hey, great, good job, everybody got a pitch, everybody wins. Sometimes you like to get into the ring and actually have 8 winners. So it was different in the context that anybody could apply, and that it was a true competition. At the end of the day, there was a winner, and then that winner got to go on to the international competition. So we were fortunate enough to win the US and then went on to Rotterdam. In fact, we had Monday, I think the 18th was the US finals. On Tuesday, just after noon, I got on a plane and went to Rotterdam and competed on Friday, and we're fortunate enough to, again, to win the international version. So the format was 4 25-second segments. So imagine pitching your company in 4 25-second segments on everything that a judge needs to know about why you're relevant, why you're investable, why you're going to scale, why you're going to succeed. So a fun format. It was really cool being here in Kansas City. I'll also say it was a little bit stressful. The number of people that, oh, we're counting on you, good job. We're like, okay, thanks. Like, there's a lot of expectation. But it was also cool because my wife and son got to sit right here as I got to get up and get in the ring and compete. Right? So it's also kind of cool to have my, one of my sons and my other children who are at home watching to kind of see Dad kind of do what he does day in and day out. So great experience. Kaufman was a huge, obviously, helped sponsor that. One of the many great programs they did. Sprint was a big sponsor. And in some ways, I feel like I was representing both the local Kansas City community, obviously the U.S. Community around this entrepreneurship. So it was humbling. It was a lot of fun. It was an honor and a good time. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks to Kaufman. It's kind of one of those lifetime experiences. So it was great.
Can I borrow that? So for those of you who wouldn't have been aware, week before last was our Global Entrepreneurship Week event, which is, as the name implies, a global movement that we started here 7 years ago. So week before last, over 7.5 million people participated in over 20,000 events in 140 countries. For my part, I have the privilege to represent the foundation. So I started the week when you were duking it out here. I was in Copenhagen, being an international judge for the Creative Business Cup. Then I got to go to Rotterdam and see Kansas City incredibly well represented. I would tell you all, it wasn't even a close fight. The only way Toby could have lost is if he had tripped getting into the ring and knocked himself out by hitting the counter or something like that. So we should all be very, very proud that we were very well represented in Rotterdam. From there, I went on to Athens, where we are very instrumental in what was called the Disrupt Conference. Over 1,000 people, came together around the theme of entrepreneurship and had over 20 educational events. The point I wanted to share, and Toby's just exhibit A of all of this, is entrepreneurship is a universal passion. As I look at all the places I get to go and what we do and support, it really is a global ambition. It's a universal desire for people to be entrepreneurial. The challenges that we see in other places are restrictions around culture and policy. These are the things that hold other entrepreneurs back. And through the work that we do here at the foundation, we try to elevate the importance of enabling that, because truly for even US entrepreneurs to succeed, we need dynamic, robust foreign markets. iVerify is going to do very well in the US, but it's going to just kick ass by being a global product. And we need the rest of the world to be healthy and have the same appreciation that we do. And speaking of appreciation, and I'll get off the stage now, I do want to present you with this is the US prize of a $10,000 check. And you are also the People's Choice Award. So there's a gift card in there, a $1,000 gift card for the Apple Store. And once again, I just want to congratulate you for representing not only for your country, but for Kansas City, where many great things are started. Thank you, Toby.
All right, so next up is Nathan Kurtz with a quick announcement about Lean Startup.
Hey guys, next Monday and Tuesday, the Lean Startup Conference is happening out in San Francisco, and the foundation was picked as the Kansas City sponsor for the live stream. We're partnering with our friends at Think Big Partners, and we're gonna live stream it over there. So if you guys can, if you're interested, I'll just drop in for a couple of hours. It's next Monday and Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to KC Lean Startup Conf 2013.eventbrite.com. Register there, just show up a couple of hours, check out what's going on. It's basically TEDx but all Lean Startup stuff. Thanks.
All right, moving on. Landon's gonna make a quick announcement about his Christmas concert.
Thank you. You guys work yourself to death, so I want to celebrate you. We have a Christmas benefit concert. I have a number of free tickets available. It's put on by local artists for local entrepreneurs working in Africa and Haiti. If you want some free tickets, please retweet Moyo Med. We have Get Jolly at Folly. It's December 20th. You'll see cards printed by Hammer Press. Visit givecreative.org. Thank you.
All right, thanks. And one last one. Startup Grind.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Dan Linhart. This is Kelly Tomlinson, and we just wanted to take a very quick moment to invite all of you to our last Startup Grind for the year tonight at Crimalab at 6 o'clock, and we're at 1815 Central in the Crossroads. And for those of you who don't know about Startup Grind, it's a great place to come and meet other entrepreneurs and to educate and inspire one another as we talk about building great companies. And the main event is a fireside chat where we get to hear from a successful entrepreneur or business leader in the KC community and learn from their successes and their failures.
So tonight we'll have Barnett Hellsberg Jr. You may be familiar with Hellsberg Diamonds, and Hemp Hellsberg Entrepreneurship Mentorship Program. So he'll be talking to us through his process, through his time at Hellsberg and how he founded this, and of course his book, Entrepreneurs Plus Mentors Equals Success. So we'll have pizza and beer. You can go to our Twitter, Startup Grind KC, and that'll have a link to the Eventbrite. So for all of you here, we want to invite you to use promo code 1MC to get half off your ticket. So it'll just be $5, pizza and beer. So we hope we'll see you all there. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys. Obviously, a lot of great stuff going on, even this week. So next up is our second presenters. We've got Rumble Cosmetics. There's a local company helping women kind of support their favorite sports teams by being pretty and proud, not painted and loud. Got it. Thanks, guys.
Hi, good morning. I'm Stephanie Nash, and this is Stephanie Mason. We are co-founders of Rumble Cosmetics. Any fans in the house? Any college grads? Anybody who watches football, basketball games? Anyone want to give a shout out to, like, I heard a Rock Chalk, any EMAs? Go Tigers. How about that? That's a story this year. So, we co-founded Rumble Cosmetics because of our passion for female fans, our passion for cosmetics. Anyone know anyone who wears lip gloss? Anybody? A few people know some people that wear lip gloss. Cool. Well, we actually know that there's over 90 million female fans in our country. And hey, we thought we should give them an opportunity to have some new products to wear so that they can show up at games and be pretty and proud, not painted and loud, because we feel like that's a lot bigger market. And as makeup artists, we know the passion that women have for those products. We know how they make them feel good, but so do their alma maters. So when they see things with the Power Cat or the Jayhawk or that tiger on it, or Roll Tide, or whoever it is, they have this instant passion for that product. So we are here today sharing, we found out a couple days ago that we got to fill this spot. We're totally honored and excited to be here and share our story with you about Rumble Cosmetics. And we have just kicked off a campaign we would love for you guys to support. We're gonna hand out the link so that you all know about it and can share it. We are looking to raise $50,000 in our Indiegogo campaign, which will really help us get to the next level. Now I'm gonna let Steph Mason share a little bit more about Rumble Cosmetics.
Yeah, I have a mic. Well, our story started, I've always wanted my own makeup brand. I worked for Chanel Cosmetics for 10 years as a regional makeup artist. We share a similar background experience. She ran the top counter at NARS, and it's worked for top lines like Bobbi Brown, Estee Lauder, all the good ones. And I came to her, my fellow entrepreneur, and said, I have a great idea. We just need to launch our own line. Isn't that a great idea? And she's like, why? Why are we just going to be another makeup artist with a line? There's no niche there. And so she shattered my dreams right there. And then she came back to me and had me meet her at a Starbucks about a year later, and she said, okay, I have this idea. I was getting my Pretty and Proud on for game day, the K-State Bowl game, and she always rocks out her gorgeous purple smoky eye makeup. And she thought, You know, there's no licensed color cosmetics out there. You can get pretty much anything with the logo on it, including toilet seats, but there's not pretty makeup out there. So we did a little bit more research, and I'd been researching manufacturers for years, so I just went home and got busy, and Rumble was born at that Starbucks that day, and we never looked back. 2 years later, you know, working full-time, all our skin in the game, and we have some lot of exciting things in the pipeline. And you know, this is a brand that we've created with an already a great following. So that's the most exciting thing about our brand. It's, you know, people are passionate about their colleges and logos, and we've created beautiful makeup to wear on game day, but it's great too, you can wear it every day.
We kind of want to share with you guys part of our story, and as fellow entrepreneurs, many of you can probably understand some of the hurdles that we've come through. Licensing was a huge hurdle. I mean, to go put that logo on there, we have 26 schools now. We're super excited. We started with 5. We've got the big guys. We got Alabama. We got LSU. We're launching Penn State, Miami. We've got some big ones. But we knew in order to have our brand, we had to be able to use those logos. So licensing took us over 9 months. Our brand gives back at least 10% to these universities. They get right off the top, they get this for academics and athletics. And we're cool with that. We think that's a great place to put money back in to these universities, and we're proud of every single logo that we're able to use. Another hurdle obviously has been fundraising. So we're females, we're in Kansas City, we're launching a cosmetic company. A lot of people don't see how big that can be, but there's one of our idols that we look up to, Bobby Brown. She had this little idea of launching some neutral brown lipsticks. There were 8 of them. She launched them in Barney's, similar to how we launched in Halls, and 5 years later, she sold to a company called Estee Lauder for $75 million. So we would love to bridge us from this startup company to a success story just like Bobby Brown. We have very similar backgrounds, and we would love your support with our Indiegogo campaign to help us jump that hurdle of fundraising being probably our biggest challenge.
Yes, it definitely is. We're excited about some successes. You know, we were on the Million Cups.
35 seconds.
Oh. Let me just tell you about our successes really quick. We've got in over 80 retailers, including Halls. Nationwide, we're in some rally houses, Hallmark stores, and our biggest exciting thing right now is we're going to be in Nordstrom in the spring, which is going to be a huge game changer for Rumble. Dillard's is talking to us about a summer buy, but we're already getting our game plan together, and we'll be in Nordstrom in March, and that's going to be huge and great for us. So. Also, we have an ESPN writer currently writing an article on us to go into Marie Claire, Glamour magazines, and that as well is going to be like a Nordstrom game changer.
Wonderful. Move right into questions. Question in the middle here.
Was the purchase that you arranged with Nordstrom's, is that a test? Or how many stores are they going to put it in?
Yeah, we are going to launch actually in at least 3 stores. We're working directly with them. Just to even find a national buyer who wants to look at your brand. That was a huge success. We did a lot of background work. Well, she happened to go to Tennessee, so we shipped her some of the cute Tennessee products. Her husband graduated from Notre Dame, so she's like, oh my gosh, I get this. Like, she knows, how big that can be. And there's a lot of stores that are in department stores now, they need niche brands. They need something new to put in front of customers. So when they saw Rumble, they saw our product quality, she's like, I think this is a great fit. Of course, they're not gonna jump out and put us in all 117 stores. We wouldn't want that. That's a lot of, skin in our game to go, ooh, what if it just sits on the shelves or whatever. So we actually have at least 3 locations, and then in the fall, a 4th one down south that they're gonna launch us in. They're going to rally behind us as stores. They're strategically putting us in places that have, avid fan bases, have large, stores. We're going to be down in Dallas at Galleria. It's one of their top 5 stores in the entire country. There's a few teams down in that area that have quite a few fans. So, yeah, we're excited.
Question back here to your left.
Well, I like your name. We'll start with that. But might surprise you to learn, I don't know a whole lot about cosmetics. Now, could you tell me a little about your product? Are you making your own product and developing it, or are you purchasing product from a manufacturer that you're then labeling and licensing under your name?
Yeah, definitely not making it. We're not trying to create that wheel. But with our makeup artistry experience, we have gone to the manufacturers and picked our colors, and they can make them for us. We can even give them the Pantone colors of the schools, because some of those schools are super hard to get licensed. Like right now, we're trying to get Texas, and you have to submit several times for them to say yes. But we want it to be pretty so you can wear it on your face, since it's not face paint. So that's the challenge that we face. Our next manufacturer that we're working with is kind of why we're raising funds, is so we can get our costs down and go to the same, there's only so many manufacturers, and we've met them at the international trade shows that do all the work for big brands like Urban Decay, Smashbox. They all go to pretty much the same place and just design within those manufacturers. So the minimums are much higher, and that's kind of where we're headed. Right now, we're being made in New York.
Okay, question here on your right.
Yeah.
Is there a cyclical nature to this type of product, given that most of the sporting that happens would be fall and late winter, early spring, and then you're off during the summer? How do you gear up for that and put yourself in front of the people at the right time?
Right, good question. And there is graduation, back to school. We're looking at the sorority market. But yeah, she's kind of our sports person that's kind of in charge of.
Well, and with cosmetics and we've merged really two markets. So there's definitely a cyclicalness to the business, but that's also a good thing, because when you come to launch something new, you're wrapping stuff up in the summer. By the time a new school season is around, or fall, you're launching and kicking off a new product. Retail sales, fourth quarter are always the highest. First and second are a little lower, but it's pretty consistent, and there's always kind of like those trigger marks where you think it's going to be slow, but then you've got like a Mother's Day or a graduation in there. So yeah, like most businesses, there's definitely some cyclicalness to it.
Right, and we're really proud of the fact that we're having great repeat customers, because we've made the product top quality, and so they are wearing it for their everyday makeup as well. Like as makeup artists, we've put in little cards on how to wear it. I mean, MU is really pretty and easy, but KU is not so easy. So we've made little cards how to do like a fun fan, a flirty fan, and a fantabulous fan. So, it's stuff you can wear every day as, go a little more crazy on game day.
I've got a question here on your right. You said you've already been in stores. Again, remind me how long you've been out, and then how have sales been? I mean, have you been getting traction?
Absolutely. So we started the concept last January. It took us the 9 months to get licensed. We literally called Collegiate Licensing Company. We had a deadline, what day we wanted to launch. Football was kicking off. We're ready to go live. So we had KU, K-State, MU, Iowa State, and Baylor. There's 2 licensing companies that help within those 5 universities. We launched them September 1 last year. We only had a template website. We had a Facebook page. We had some friends and family. But that was it. We weren't in any store, and we were just online. And so since then, we picked up halls. We sold out of the products last season, halls on the plaza. And then we started to just get into some boutiques, salons, fan shops, Rally House. And every time Rumble adds a new product, so then we added in nail polish. And then every time we add a new university, obviously it expands our market. So we just shipped out 2 boxes to 2 different locations for LSU products. When we got Alabama and Auburn, we had one guy that owns 8 different stores buy us for all his different stores. So again, we're in over 80 stores, and it's just kind of changing every day. And every time we're able to fund and launch a new product or go out and license an additional school, we'll continue to expand. And then the exciting thing too is, every time a new school season comes around, you have new graduates, new students, new diehard family members, new fans. It's really an exciting market, and our product is fun in the fact that, really it is we are selling happiness. Like the people that get their hands on it, or they pull out their, Jayhawk lip gloss or whatever, like they're happy. We've had great compliments from our retailers and our customers just saying like, they're so fun and I can't wait till she opens it or whatever. So we've made, we've had 5 licenses last year, September 1. We have 26 as of today. And really the only thing holding us back from having more is
Funding.
time and money.
Yeah, it's just been the staffs doing all this. So.
And this is our job. Like, we don't pay ourselves and we just do this full time. This is not our hobby.
Question for you here in the middle.
This is so cool. I love it. So my question is, you are going into mostly department stores and boutiques. So is this a high-end product? And maybe if you could share some of your retail strategy about the distribution in the specific stores. So you opted not to go the route of like Target or whatever.
And we have a plan for that as well. We're going to see what kind of where the market takes us, but we, when we presented to the women's group, investment group, they said, did you ever think about knocking yourself off for the mass markets? And of course that is in our business plan. We have, trademarked a name for that, and, some companies in the cosmetic market, that takes over where they are. So we wanted to launch the top quality brand and get into department stores like Nordstrom, and we are working with Sephora, QVC. That's where we see Rumble, and we have another vision for the other company. But it's such a scalable business. We have 26 NCAA licenses. We have products that we've designed for Sporting KC. We have a nail polish and a makeup palette that sells out at their stadium. We'd love to be in the NFL. It's just funding, time, and people really right now.
Yeah, and I think, our background and what we knew best was the department store high end, and it's also kind of where we really wanted to be. I mean, people talk to us about doing home parties or doing like a Target, Walgreens, and really our passion and our brand and in an NCAA market, a college graduate, that the average household income, just who our target market really is a little bit more of that department store buyer. So that's why we wanted to retain a higher quality. We wanted to have a little higher price point and start there in that distribution point of more of a department store. And we're really excited to have the feedback already of a national Dillard's buyer saying she thinks it'd be a great buy for summer 2014. It's cool. Thank you.
Question right here.
Kind of along that same line, I have a daughter who absolutely loves KU, loves to go to Justice, stores like that, lip gloss.
Yeah.
She saw that, she would bug me for 3 weeks to buy it.
Ooh,
So
all
that-
right.
Yeah,
We'll talk to her.
We'll get into Justice.
Another one might be some of the fitness places in town, the workout centers that sometimes have salons.
Yeah,
A
we're
lot
in
of
several
sports
salons and
people
doing pretty good. Yeah.
attend there.
Yeah, good idea.
Next question right up here.
Can you talk a little? Ooh, that was loud. Can you talk a little bit about the validation process that you went through? How you found that there was a market for this, not only for yourselves and to start this, but when you started seeking funding and things like that, how you were able to convince that this wasn't just some sort of like, sports nail polish, but that there was a real business behind this.
Exactly, and we knew it was a good idea or thought it was a good idea, so we did a couple focus groups to get price points. That's kind of where we got the idea of I needed to include the face charts that are called play-by-plays, because not everyone's a makeup artist and knows what to do with these crazy colors. So we have just gotten nothing but good feedback from all those research and groups that we've put together.
Yeah, I'd say the focus group helped us get a whole bunch of ideas of what they thought maybe the best product would be, or what they would look for in a product, what they would pay for a product, what would be too much or too little. And then I just think like that repeat customer. I mean, we have just individuals that online or have come to us that have spent like over $500 in Rumble. I mean, our average product price is like $15. So it's that repeated customer base, those reorders.
Just working with the department stores as well. Like at Halls, I worked for Chanel down there for a long time as a freelancer, and I went in and showed the cosmetic manager and everybody in the department, which knows cosmetics and knows price points and sales. And they called us a couple weeks later and gave us the PO and ordered it. Steph's working with a Nordstrom buy, and they are kind of putting their 2 cents on what products they want. Like they want a lip gloss ring, so that was one of our ideas, but now we're just trying to figure out how to make that happen by March.
We went to some trade shows too, and we had an opportunity to meet a lot of people through that. Atlanta Gift Mart we did last year. We had maybe 12 licenses at the time, and a lot of them weren't down in the South. And we already had purchase orders for like LSU that just shipped out this week because we just got them. We had a store in Miami, like the Cane's store. I called him up. I'm like, okay, we got your license. We have your products. He's like, great. I wanted them then. This was like last January.
It's so cool to go.
I wanted them then. I still want them now. Here's my order. Here's my credit card. So I think along the way, all of those ideas and validations. And I have to say, like, we're almost partners with these universities. I mean, obviously they want us to sell a ton of Rumble because they're getting our royalty checks. So when licensing directors see something like a new brand or a new niche, they like that. They want to support us, and we have a great relationship with our licensing directors. They have retailers come to them. Hey, have you seen anything new? Can we buy something new? We've T-shirt. And they see all the same stuff, and they want some new things to merchandise and make royalties off of too. So we were glad we could help them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Question back over here on your right.
You talked about all of the high-end stores, but have you really went into your college bookstores and placed everything in there? And also taken a look at your HBCU, historically black college universities also. That'll also be a good market for you.
Thank you. Yeah. You know what? We hate to say we only have 26 licenses. I mean, every day we have people on our Facebook. Do you have Pitt State? Do you have WSU? I mean, we don't want to exclude anyone. So you guys spread the word. The further we can go. We had a little private school that wanted us to make products for them. I think all female fans should be included. So bookstores are great. I mean, I think any school of any size has those avid fans and alumni that just are really passionate about where they went. This makes a really fun gift or product. You're going to buy lip gloss anyway. So yeah, thank you.
Question for you back here.
I'm kind of fascinated by the colleges and universities and schools. How do they audit you to determine they get their money?
So licensing, that's fun. Every single month, you report it. Every single place that we sell, so we're in over 80 stores. Every store has a code, and we report what we sold to that store that month for KU, for MU, for Alabama, and you report royalties. It's an automated system, and in order to be licensed, you have to go through all those steps. Reporting royalties obviously is really important. We take it very seriously. Every single item sold, you have to show where it was sold, how much it went, and write them a check.
Even on the giveaways, you have to pay royalties. So
KU and K-State are really liking Rumble.
Yeah, and we're the official sponsors
we're giving them some
this year
good
of
checks.
the dance and cheer squad. So if you go to any of the games, it's pretty fun. You'll see us on the Jumbotron at halftime.
But we definitely need your support. We would love for you guys to help us be another success story here in Kansas City, like iVerify, like Kate Spade, Derma Doctor. I mean, we would love for Rumble Cosmetics to continue the momentum that we have. We're the only official licensed cosmetic company in the country, and we really want to keep it that way. We would love your support. We would love to be able to have additional products and additional universities by this time next year. Yeah, and maybe a paycheck.
Yeah, a paycheck and people. Exactly.
Question for you, Ray.
Ladies, this is wonderful. Congratulations on all that you've done. This is inspirational. The amount of schools that you've been able to get the licensing for is pretty incredible for anybody that's worked with that licensing process. That's ridiculous. But I know you already started of what we can do to help you out, but what can we as a community do to help Rumble?
Just connections. Funding is our biggest challenge. So just spreading the word and love about our Indigo campaign would mean the world to us. So.
Yeah, I think we love enough what we do, and we put so much full time into it that we do know the licensing side, and we're really blessed on the manufacturing side. And so we've created a lot of those really good niches. Obviously, when it comes to distribution, there's always great ideas or connections there. We're honored to already be having conversations with national buyers at major department stores, but obviously any new connectors there. But it truly is about enabling us to have the funding to lower our costs, have a higher profit margin, be able to actually have a marketing and advertising campaign other than friends and family and Facebook.
And more licenses. I mean, we'd love to be at over 100 licenses.
So it's really about helping us find the funding, finding maybe some equity investors or additional funding with our campaigns.
Wonderful. Thank you guys. Big round of applause.
Hey guys, my name's Nate Olson. I run the 1 Million Cups program for the Kauffman Foundation, and I just want to give you a quick announcement for something you need to be aware of. The Kauffman Foundation closes for Christmas break on December 13th for the rest of the year, but we are still going to have 1 Million Cups on December 18th. So last year we were at the Google Fiber Space. This year on December 18th, we're going to be at the new Block School of Management over at UMKC. All week and next week leading up to December 18th, we'll be pushing out directions so you guys can park for free and you'll be taken care of. They're going to take great care of us. It's going to be a great venue. So anyway, December 18th, do not come here because the doors will be locked and we will be at the Block School of Management. And finally, I actually think this is kind of cool. I'm going to be the last presenter of the year, presenting 1 Million Cups at 1 Million Cups because it really has been a startup for the foundation. And I think a lot of people who attend or are here for the first time think that this is just an event, but it's actually a national movement, soon to be international, that entrepreneurs are leading. And I want you guys to be cued into all of that. So I'm going to be one of the presenters on December 18th. So anyway, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you back here next week and at UMKC the week after.